Hey guys, we got us a call from a longtime customer. I've known her and her husband who has passed for a long time, and she called and said the heat just won't shut off, and last night it wouldn't get warm at all. Come with me. Knock, knock.
Come on in. How you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Okay. We were cold all last night.
You were cold last night.
How you been, Curtis?
I'm good. I can't complain. Alright, it says heat on. I'm going to turn this up a little bit and I'm going to check it outside, okay?
Okay.
And then I'll check it upstairs.
All right.
Okay, I think I just heard it go into defrost. I thought. If that's a soft defrost, it sure is taking a long time. Alright, so we know it will go into defrost. I don't visually see anything wrong. Check pressures. We're running in heat right now. She said it wasn't blowing any heat during the night. That could be the heat pump's not working, and it was relying on the heat pump. It was close to set point and relying on the heat pump. So what am I doing? So I'm checking the heat pump first, but it could also mean that the heat strips weren't working. It was close to freezing and the heat pump just wasn't very efficient. And it got down to 31 last night. Oh, that's the wrong one. So I feel plenty of heat right there. I feel warmth coming back on my liquid line too. This is, I got pink. This is an R410 system. I got a head pressure plenty high enough to produce heat. Where's 410? Come on. Alright, and there are my temperatures. Alright, so the heat pump seems to be doing okay. Let's go check those heat strips. I'm going to turn this off out here, which allows me to go to the thermostat and crank it up just in regular heat pump mode, which should bring on the auxiliary heat, which is what I am questioning right now. So let's undo all this and head inside. Stand in here. No, ma'am, I can get it. Alright, I know there's a light up here. And it don't work. All right. Y'all forgive me if all that was a little bit shaky. Let's I'm gonna get a little more light. That is still a little bit dark. All right, now we got some light. Every one of these screw holes has been retapped. Alright, our objective right now is to see if these heat strips are working on their own. The thermostat's turned up and it says stage 1 and stage 2 are on. Alright, if y'all see that, I have 5 kW on. And this is a 10 kW system. Alright, so now we got to figure out why one side is not working. Alright, at least I know from that right there that the side on the left is one that is not working. Or at least the one on the top, let's put it that way. The one on the top is not working. Okay, part of what I gotta do now is electrically troubleshoot this without getting shocked. And I'm gonna try to point out this is a Warren heater kit. It has kind of a different fusible link and it has a limit on it. So you got 5 kW up here on the top, right there, and you got 5 kW down here. What I'm going to show you, the black wires, one goes to a fusible link and one goes to the heat strips. So from the outside here, you can't tell which one's which. This right here, or this right here. So let's troubleshoot that first and see if it's the fusible link. I'm just going to have to tell you what I'm reading. These are my 2 wires going to the heat strip. They should be getting 240 volts. They are not. Alright, the next thing I want to check is the limit. Alright, that limit is not open. It shows 0 volts across it. Okay, now I've got both heat strips working. I really don't know what I did, but that does tell me that both heat strips are intact, and the only thing I did not check or have time to check was the heat relay, and these are the heat relays right here, those little black boxes, and the one that controls that upper heat strip is the one on the top right here. And they do not make it easy to change those little heat relays, do they? If I think one is giving me trouble, it might not be a bad idea to replace them both. That means I gotta go get them, and we are out in the country. Let me go ahead and do that. All right, let's go ahead and turn this back on. I probably have a 30-minute trip just to go get these relays. Guys and gals, y'all know that I could probably replace both of those heat relays with M1 through M4 or Q103 sequencer. But I'm going to try to go back with the way it was designed, and that's those Warren heat relays. Yeah, the reason I do that sometimes when I know I could do it with something different, is probably just as dependable, is one time when I was younger working for somebody else, I tried to put a inducer draft motor on a Linux that wasn't made for a Linux, and I got into some really deep trouble about it. My boss yelled at me and I almost lost my job, and he called it retrofitting and that was illegal and threatened me with, I mean, it really ingrained in my head not to try and retrofit. And I know that's a different circumstance. I know that's an inducer draft motor, that's something different, but still it gives me the desire to try to go back with it the way it was. So let's go get us some heat relays. Here we go. All right, this is basically the heat relays, and they come in 2 pieces, because this is low voltage input and this is the terminals it breaks. But that low voltage input has to be DC. These are DC relays, so you got to make sure you get the top part on it that rectifies your AC signal to DC, and it just kind of fits on like that. That's why those relays look kind of funny. It's got that DC rectifier on them. So basically, all right, I just turned the power off. All right, first I need to make sure I don't have power. At least no power on the other end of this. Nothing. Nothing. All right. Time to get to work. All right, first let's this is my low voltage. Brown and white. It is hard to do this in a way where I know you can see what I'm doing. I can't hardly get my screwdriver in there. All right, I'm going ahead and doing it like that so I can know exactly how to put this back on. Come on. Okay. Alright, that's one of them. Let's do the next one. I need that little screwdriver. Alright, that one looks like it's the screw don't want to come out. Alright, now for my next one. Alright. There we go. Alright, and we got a splitter on this one. Alright, the reason we have a splitter on this one is because this controls the fan. This goes to the heat strip, and this one goes to normally closed on the blower relay. Alright, so the only thing we're missing here is this. All right, I think that's it. All right, let's jump. All right, where's my red? Here we go. Let's jump from one to the other real quick and make sure that we get let's make sure we get 40 amps. There we go. They both came on at the same time. Well, guys, I don't know if you can see me. There's a bright glare. That's one more happy customer. How about that? Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.